Hi everyone, it's ILA MONICAL, Miss Randolph County's Teen 2024, and today we're doing episode 9 of You Know Them, Not Their Story, featuring Maxine Ford. Hello!
Hello, how are you today, Isla?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm fantabulous. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. All right, let's jump right into this. Tell me a little bit about your CSI.
So my CSI is called Sign with Compassion, Sealed with Confidence. And it talks about two things specifically. First of all, mental health as well as bringing awareness to ending bullying. So in order to be your best self and show up in the world as confidently as you can, you first got to have compassion for yourself, compassion for your flaws, compassion for the things you're not so great at, and like show yourself love in spite of the mistakes you may have made. And so the other thing that it needs to show forth is like confidence. Once you have compassion for yourself, you have got to have confidence and just go out and be your greatest you. And then once you learn how to do that for yourself, some people, I've met people who are really icky. They're really confident, but it comes off really arrogant and it comes off really prideful. And so having compassion for other people and where they are in their journey as well is very important. So how can we get our own confidence and then have compassion for others and boost their confidence as well? And I think that when you have that kind of compassion for yourself and for others, that's how you start to create a community that feels well supported and well loved.
Absolutely. So, what is your story?
Who? I think I would like to start the story that I at least want to share with this community is that last year this time I was in the a very dark space. That's what me and my counselor call it. It was the dark times. And in the dark times I had no confidence. In the dark times I had no compassion for myself. In fact, I was quite mean to myself. And because I'm a person who is a thermometer, meaning that when I come into a room, I shift energy. When I come into a room, you can either feel the joy that I radiate off of me, or also you can feel other emotions that might not be so positive. So because I was in such a dark space, I felt like every time I entered a room, the room just like, there was just a gloom in the room. Um, and it's not a pretty place to be. And I now recognize as, going through the healing space and doing the work, I'm still doing the work. It's not over yet, right? It's an everyday journey. I was trying to be someone else. I was trying to be who I thought other people needed me to be. I am a very loud, very bubbly energy. And I know that it can be a lot for some people. And in that time of my life, I was trying to play small. I was trying to fit in. I was trying to be quiet and I was silencing myself from the inside out. And like like a fire, I was slowly fanning myself out until I was smoldering. And then until I kind of like burned my own fire out or just like washed it out. And part of the journey of having compassion for myself was like, God made me exactly how I was meant to be.
Mhm.
God made me loud. I am to use this voice because I got something to say.
Yeah.
God made me bubbly because somebody out there needs joy. God made me exuberant because I'm going to balance somebody out. Maybe there's somebody in this world who's like really low energy, but they are waiting to meet somebody with high energy to help them have that too. I am beautifully and wonderfully made by the Creator. And as soon as I got a hold to that and started believing that and started having compassion for the places I still needed to grow, then I tapped into Queen Maxine, who is a beast of a woman, who is very confident, but doesn't want to just have it all for myself. Oh no. I want to bring as many queens and kings along with me until we shake this world with confidence.
Absolutely. I love everything that you said. You just like, oh my gosh, it felt like you were just Oh my gosh, she just has such amazing energy. I cannot even put it into words.
Thank
Um,
you.
I'm very, very glad that you're a part of this and you shared your story. So, um, a little more about your story. Why do you think that these things happen to teens and women today?
I'll start with teens because I
Mhm.
remember what it was like to be in middle school and high school. All you want to do is fit in. All you want to feel like is that you belong somewhere and that somebody thinks that you're special. And so you start to kind of buff out the things that make you different so that you can fit in. And over time, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, who is this? This is not me. Um, and so we start to just try to be something that we're not, but we're masterpieces. And when we try to become replicas of other people's work, it just doesn't work. And then I think for for women, older women, it's like, especially, someone who's in the professional industry, you think, okay, so if you haven't noticed yet, I am Black. Um, it was a joke. It was a joke.
I know.
I think everybody who can see me can tell. But there's something about going into spaces where you're a loud Black woman and you try not to fit yourself into stereotypes. Like there's a stereotype about the angry Black woman or the loud, angry Black woman. And so when you're trying to like go into a professional space, you want people to respect you. And I'm in the world of theater. And depending on the theater I'm in, like right now, I have the beautiful honor of working with the North Carolina Black Repertory Theater. I came from Minnesota. Minnesota, I worked at Climb Theater, loved it. Two different theaters, two different theaters. And at Climb Theater and in Minnesota, I went into a lot of spaces as the only Black woman. I would go into schools. I was the only Black person there. And so when you go into spaces and you know that while you know you don't represent every single Black person in the world, you know that some people have never met a Black person. It's crazy, but when you go into certain small rural towns, they don't get a lot of diversity. And so when you show up into that space, you show up knowing I have to represent myself because I don't want them to think that I'm like somebody that they may have seen in a negative portrayal on the news. I have to represent. And it's not fair. It's not equal. It's not equitable, but it is the truth. So when I go into professional spaces, I found myself trying to fit into the mold of what it looks like to be a professional and how to, really be a businesswoman and maybe not do too much because I don't want to come off too strong. And I had all these thoughts about what it meant to be, and I was silencing myself. And and I think women, especially depending on the industry you're going into, if it's very male dominated, like you will try not to rock the boat. You don't want to be known as the girl who causes trouble, as the woman who's doing too much. You don't want them to call you negative names. You want them to take you seriously. So you try to lean back. You try to be demure. Um, and I think we dim our light doing that, trying to be what other people want us to be. If we intend to really shake this earth, if we intend to really start a movement and do something that has never done before, then you have to do something that has never been done before. Stop trying to fit into a mold, honey. We were here to break molds. Mold? What is a mold? I don't know what it is. God didn't create me in one masterpiece. He started from scratch. When God created you, Isla, he started from scratch. There is no other Isla Monaco like you. If you don't wake up in the morning and say, ooh, God did this from scratch, there will never be another one like me. They can't even buy this. Oh, absolute perfection he did on the potter's clay. Like if you don't wake up knowing that, stop trying to be what everybody else wants you to do, then yeah, you're going to live a life that is not well lived. It won't be fulfilled. It will be something that I've already lived, already been there, done that, got the t-shirt and got the got the scars to prove it, and I don't want that life. I don't. And I don't think anyone deserves to have that life. We all deserve more.
Mhm.
We all
Absolutely. And normally I give you the questions that I ask beforehand. And I did give them to you. But I've got one more. Do you kind of you said normally sometimes you're the only woman in the room or and you don't really want to fit into that stereotype. Do you see yourself breaking barriers and breaking the glass ceiling a lot?
Yes.
Mhm.
And I also intend to. I intend to be Miss America 2025. I mean, right now I got hair on my head. I need a haircut. I've never seen a bald Miss America.
Mhm.
I know I'm gonna be Miss America fit and I'm gonna do it well, but I don't intend to like mutilate my body to try to fit into a stereotype. That's not me. I am a plus size woman and I will be a plus size Miss America. That already there is breaking barriers. When I shave my head off and it's crystal clear, that already will be breaking barriers. But guess what? I didn't do it doing anything anyone told me I had to do to be Miss America. I did it standing as Maxine Ford, the Queen Maxine herself. And everybody, I think we grow up being told that we have to be change makers. We got to make a difference. We got to do something. The way you truly do that is show up in the world, the way that God created you to be. There's no formula because God didn't use a formula to create you. You just have to be exactly who you were meant to be, flaws, scars, and all. Because what you struggle with, somebody else will struggle with, and they're going to need you to pull them in. They're going to need you to pull together. Yes, sir. They're going to need you to pull together. And so just know the life you live is a story that's going to encourage someone else. The life someone else is living is encouraging me. We're all truly in this together. And so, and then I want to say also, you don't have to break barriers in any dramatic way. The fact that how old are you?
I'm 15.
The fact that you are 15 and you have your own YouTube show and that like, you know, you, you went through 7, competitions before you won, like you're breaking barriers right in your inner friend circle. You're breaking barriers right in your community. And you never know who's watching. They're watching you, Isla. They're looking up to you, Isla, and they will continue to do so. So never think that, just because the headlines aren't shouting your name, that you're not doing something great exactly where you are, because you are.
Gosh, I just felt like I got like a really great pep talk. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Yes, ma'am.
So how have you made a difference with your CSI?
So in its current state, I've just been able to do a lot of mentorship, a lot of working with young women and women one on one. Honestly, I think my community service initiative is really a life initiative. It's not something that's like outside of me. Like now I'm gonna go do my community service. No, every time I have a conversation with anyone, I go and I try to empower them to have compassion for themselves and for others. I go and I hope that when they finish talking to me, that they are much more confident. Like I just live it. So what am I doing? I'm living. I'm living.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I've started right now is I've created little like business cards and it's a little like description about my CSI, what I do, about, them, not their story. So that's one way
Mhm.
I've done it. Um, are there any ways, this is another question I don't think I prepared you for, but are there any other ways that you've kind of gone out into your community and spread your CSI, besides the mentorship?
I will tell you, I've got a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of work to do. I know that a lot of the work that I have done in a more personal manner is not really like, it hasn't been branded with,
Mhm.
signed with compassion, sealed with confidence. And I know that I need to kind of put it out there with more of that staple, especially in order to prepare for local competitions and state competitions. So, outside of the mentorship, and the smaller aspects of it, I've still got a lot of work to do, Miss Isla. But when I do it and I get to it, I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Um,
And I do have time for one more question.
Great, because it's going to be the last question.
Okay.
Who or what inspired you to compete in the Miss America system?
I will say first that I believe it was a calling from God. May 2021, God challenged me to challenge the hearts of Americans. And I was like, okay, because I believe in hard work. So God challenged me. And then I actually went to high school with the current Miss Georgia, Tara Lynn, and watching her go through her process. Um, I felt like God was saying, and that's how you're going to do it. You're going to represent North Carolina. You're going to represent Americans as Miss America, and you're going to challenge their hearts so that we can all grow and do better.
Great. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so proud of you for just everything that you're doing. I mean, you've only done about two competitions right now, and you've done amazing.
Thank you
You're
so
just
much.
a light that shines in the dark, and I feel like everyone that you're going to compete with is going to be very glad that you're with them.
Thank you so much, Isla. I really appreciate this time. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.